Yo, what's happening, YouTube? Nocturnal Thoughts. Quick question. Is Andy Ruiz 2.0 version of Buster Douglas? Is Andy Ruiz Hasim Rahman 2.0? My answer to that, absolutely no. We all know the story of Hasim Rahman and Buster Douglas. Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson, never fought Mike Tyson again, got in the ring with Evander Holyfield, and was knocked out. He came in the ring completely out of shape, got knocked out by Evander Holyfield, who was absolutely a beast. Hasim Rahman knocked out Lennox Lewis. We all know these stories. Knocked out Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis say, I overlooked an opponent. I got a little lazy. Let me go back and make some adjustments. He came back in the rematch, knocked out Hasim Rahman. Anthony Joshua fought Andy Ruiz in June, knocked him down in the third round, then got knocked down 4 times, lost the fight in the 7th round. Rematched last night, won by a 12-round unanimous decision. Congrats and salute to Anthony Joshua. But that does not make Andy Ruiz either Hasim Rahman and Buster Douglas. And as I said before, I can't disrespect any of those two guys because they are now historical figures in boxing and saluted for making it to the top. You have to salute that in it of itself. But Andy Ruiz, no, he's not either one of these guys. The fight yesterday proved he was a threat from round 1 to 12. There was no point in that fight where he was knocked down, hurt, or knocked out. The only embarrassment that Andy Ruiz suffered in that fight was before the fight on the scale. That's the only embarrassment to boxing. Like I said, borderline disrespectful was his weight, which if you look at that fight, no one can really say whether or not that weight loss or gain would have made that much of a difference in that fight. I think that it would. I think that if Andy Ruiz would have came in a little leaner, about 255, 260, I think it would have closed the gap just a little bit. But I still think based on Anthony Joshua's performance, he probably would have still pulled off that fight, maybe giving up a few more rounds, not as much as a closeout as it was, not as much as a domination as it was, but it still would have went 12 rounds going towards Anthony Joshua. But my thing is to say this: Andy Ruiz wasn't knocked out of positioning for. Put it like this: if they was to do a trilogy, if they did a trilogy, I expect the same outcome. But here's the thing: here's the rub. If they had a trilogy and Anthony Joshua put on the exact same performance, say Andy Ruiz came in there 15, 20 pounds lighter. He came in at 255, 260. Anthony Joshua came in perfect, 235, 237. And in the trilogy fight, Anthony Joshua would have displayed the same masterclass performance and shut out Andy Ruiz. Then what that would do would make them even. Right now is split between victories. A win is a win, a loss is a loss. But it's split. You got Andy Ruiz 1-1, Anthony Joshua 1-1. But Andy Ruiz won in dramatic fashion. Completely knocked out or knocked down Anthony Joshua 4 times. On the other hand, You have Anthony Joshua, who played a safe fight, jab, jab, hold, stayed on his bicycle, fought a defensive fight, fought a Floyd Mayweather-ish, Muhammad Ali-ish, Vladimir Klitschko-ish type of a fight, won back his belts. So if he did that 2 times in a row, that would show me that he completely dominated him twice. That would make up for being knocked down 4 times. You see what I'm saying? That would make them even, as far as I'm concerned. I just want for people to be logical. That was a great performance by Anthony Joshua. But on Showtime, we had Jamar Charlo winning in dramatic, devastational fashion with a hook, knocking out Dennis Hogan. And I put it like this. Thinking about Jermell Charlo in his rematch against Tony Harrison. See, that fight they fought the first time was a close fight. It was a mix and a combination between boxing, brawling. One person is a knockout artist, the other person is a pure boxer. And in the rematch, if Jermell Charlo wins, if he has to change his game plan and box Tony Harrison, and he outboxes him for 12 rounds and gets the point via decision, then that would say, okay, that completely makes the first fight, it takes away, it erases some of the first fight. Not that you can never erase an L, but you can say, look, the first fight was close. Matter of fact, the first fight was controversial. Some people say I lost, some people say I won, some people say it was a draw. But let's settle this once and for all. They fight a second time. He doesn't have to knock out Tony Harrison to make everything conclusive. He can win on points and say, okay, see, he didn't knock him out. He fought him on points, fought a safe fight, and he won, right? So it all depends. Anthony Joshua not knocking out Andy Ruiz does not put him above Andy Ruiz. One person has a win, the other person has a win, but it doesn't, to me, it just does not override. It doesn't override that first fight getting knocked down 4 times. It would damn near take 2 victories to do that. But I, for one, don't need to see a third fight. You know what I'm saying? I think the first fight was somewhat lackluster, and it could not mount up to the hype that had to be around it simply because of the first fight being so unexpected. I give you guys another example because I don't want anybody to be biased. I just want people to be logical. My first example was Jermell Charlo, Tony Harrison. Their rematch doesn't have to be a knockout. A knockout would be sweet, but if he wins off points, then they both won off points. They won by judges. Say, for example, with, this is just hypothetical. Say, for example, I heard so many people giving Errol Spence such a hard time for his fight against Mikey Garcia. I heard so many people, oh, he can't knock little Mikey Garcia up, who's coming up 2 weight classes, and Errol Spence couldn't put him away. He couldn't knock him out. He had to win by points. Now, let's rewind, hypothetically. If Errol Spence would have fought Mikey Garcia and got dropped 4 times and lost that fight, I would have been like, damn, Errol Spence just got his ass whipped, man. What the, you know what I'm saying? They would have had a rematch. Say in the rematch, Errol Spence did to Mikey Garcia what he did to him in the first round. Completely shut him out, completely washed him, dominated him for 12 rounds. I would be like, man, damn, Errol Spence, that's what's up, man. He came back and he beat Mikey Garcia, completely shut him out. But I would still say, but shit, Mikey Garcia knocked his ass down 4 times in the first fight. You see what I'm saying? So you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't diss Errol Spence for not having the strength to knock out Mikey Garcia and call him weak. And then on the other hand, say AJ can do that, and that's cool. You can't say Mayweather's fighting style was boring because he fought defensively, and then have Anthony Joshua fight defensively, and then say, oh, he's the greatest. Just take the win in its proper perspective. And at the same time, you can't be so, don't be so hard on Andy Ruiz. I see a lot of people now are just completely turning their back on Andy Ruiz and, saying, oh, he's coming out with all these excuses and he came overweight and this and that and the other. And I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, man, human beings, who but a few can say they ever been to the mountaintop and has been, showed like Jesus going to the mountaintop with the devil, and he said, look at everything. Look at everything you see. I can give it to you. You know what I'm saying? Who's been tempted like that? Who has been in Andy Ruiz's shoes? On YouTube now. Who has been in Andy Ruiz's shoes to have been to the top, to say, oh, he let the fame and the money go to his head. He's buying cars and buying this and buying that, and he got off focus. I will admit that does look to be the case, but I'm not going to judge the man and throw him under the dirt, bury him now and say, oh, man, he just was a one-hit wonder or he was a fluke or whatever the case may be. The man been working hard since he was 6 years old, and nobody ever gave him a shot to begin with, and he made it to the top. I have to salute that. At the same time, you can't take away anything from Anthony Joshua. I just don't believe he can beat Deontay Wilder, but that's no disrespect to Anthony Joshua. I just think he has a suspect chin. I think he still has somewhat of a stamina issue if he really was fighting somebody that was putting a real amount of pressure on him. But I think for what his career is and what he just had to do, coming back and rejuvenating his desire to be a champion, because he was at the championship level and he had the whole world at his feet. And for him to get beat and get dethroned from his kingdom and go back down and do all that hard work to rebuild himself and reinvent himself and to go against the naysayers and to prove a lot of naysayers wrong, that takes a lot of heart. That takes a lot of character, and to win and still be humble in defeat, humble in victory. I have to salute that. There's nothing negative I can say about that. I wouldn't. So people who's new to my channel, hey, hit the subscribe button, thumbs up, comment, but just know that I try to keep things real. I don't try to keep things positive or negative or biased or unbiased. I just keep it real. If the real is negative and the real is biased, I'm going to be biased and negative. If the real is positive and the real is unbiased, I'm going to be unbiased. It just depends on the situation. On the real, Anthony Joshua probably should never have lost to Andy Ruiz, but that's destiny. He lost, he came back, now he's champion again. But I'm not going to stretch that. Now I'm not going to change what I've been saying about him engaging in battle with Deontay Wilder. Nothing that he showed me that he wanted to take that right hand from Deontay Wilder, period, point blank. And nothing that Andy Ruiz has done has shown me that Andy Ruiz is another Buster Douglas, which even if he was, that, in my opinion, would be a compliment, because Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson, and who can say that? Just nocturnal thoughts. I appreciate y'all time. Anybody new to my channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I think about changing the name of this channel. Boxing in the Dark with Nocturnal Thoughts. All right. Peace and salute. I'm out.